Welcome back to Life Coach 180 with yours truly, Ben Lopez, aka DJ Lopez. And today's life lesson is called Your Breakthrough is Hidden in Your Focus. Today we're going to be covering how to gain focus and achieve more. And if you found yourself like me, like a monkey mind swinging from branch to branch, I'm going to teach you how to focus in this upcoming new year and accomplish more. Next, we're going to be looking at how to develop an attitude that refuses to settle. And finally, we're going to learn how to focus on what really matters, because that's how you're going to accomplish more. So are you ready? Let's go. Gain focus. Use time well. Achieve more. Your breakthrough is hidden in your focus. So there are three things you must do to achieve more in life. Plan with intention, clarify your priorities, and stay focused. Happiness and success aren't measured by how much money you make, how busy your calendar looks, or how exhausted you feel at the end of the day. They're measured by how well you stored your time that's been given to you. You see, time is one of the most valuable gifts you can ever have or be offered to others and even to yourself. Once it's spent, it can't be reclaimed. So pause and ask yourself, are you planning your days or just reacting to them? Are you prioritizing shaping your schedule, or is your schedule shaping your priorities? Goals don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because time is mismanaged. Attention is divided and focus is stolen by distractions. So here's the truth. We can't control time, but we can control how we use it. Rich or poor, young or old, we have the same 24 hours. What separates us is how we fulfill and use that time. A lot of times we get frustrated. But remember, we can access more time when we're intentional to use it. That's why planning, using a journal, not just a to-do list, but how your time is actually spent. Awareness brings alignment. And when you see where your minutes are going, you can actually decide where they should go. So I want you to be honest about the time suckers, endless scrolling, excessive TV. Is that draining you? The environment that pulls you into it. Not everything that demands your attention deserves your time. Every interaction, every commitment, every yes should be filtered through this question. Does this move me closer to my purpose or further from it? When you plan well, clarify what matters most and protect your focus. You don't just get more done, you live with greater peace and clarity and purpose. I want you to understand, my brothers and sisters, time is a gift and you've got to use it wisely. So I want to tell you a story. This is Nehemiah, focused vision despite distraction. This is Nehemiah chapter 1 through chapter 6. Nehemiah was burdened by the broken wall of Jerusalem. He had planned and he prayed, but he had to clarify his priorities with rebuilding the wall to restore the people to safety and identity. But once the work began, opposition came constantly. The ridicule, fear tactics, false accusations, and invitations meant to pull him away from what he needed to accomplish. Nehemiah's powerful response. Here's what he said. I want you to think of this. He says, I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down. Nehemiah planned to assess the damage before acting. So he clarified his priorities. The wall mattered more than pleasing the people. He stayed focused despite the distractions and criticism and pressure. But like Nehemiah, we lose progress when we allow distractions, urgent requests, or draining people to pull us away from what God has assigned to us. Focus isn't rudeness, it's stewardship of time. So here's what Warren Buffett said. He came up with this concept, 25 goal exercise. Warren Buffett once had this pilot. His name was Mike Flint. He said, hey, I want you to write down 25 career goals. Then Buffett asked him to circle the top 5. The remaining 20 weren't harmless, but they became the ones to avoid at all costs list. Buffett explained, the top 5 deserve focused attention. The other 20 now, the good ones, are distractors that prevent excellence. Success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Even good goals can sabotage great ones if they steal time and focus. Focus multiplies results. Distraction dilutes them. Many people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because their time is so scattered. Clarify creates momentum. When priorities are unclear, time is wasted. And when priorities are clear, progress is accelerated. So here's the next point. Refuse to settle. Without continuous personal growth, you eventually become all you will ever be. And the real torment begins when the person you are finally meets the person you could have been. This is a quote by Eli Cohen. He powerfully stated, hell starts when the person you are meets the person you could have been. There's nothing more painful than realizing time has just slipped away through your fingers like trying to hold grains of sand. Watching moments fall away while dreams remain untouched and a purpose remains unexplored. Regret doesn't come from failure alone. It comes from never trying, from shrinking back when you were called to step forward. God has never intended a small, restrained, or wasted life for you. Here's what he declares in his word. This is Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. In other words, God has already written destiny in your life. It's in your story. It's in your DNA. But destiny is not automatic. It requires participation. You don't stumble into purpose. You step into what faith truly is by being obedient and courageous. Thomas Merton reminds us, the biggest human temptation is to settle for too little. Settling is subtle. It doesn't always look like failure. It often looks like comfort, routine, and playing it safe. But anything that settles eventually shrinks to the very bottom. You were never created to live at the bottom. You were designed to rise to the top. So allow God to shake what is stagnant and stir up what is supposed to be grown in you. Let's take away that complacency. Let him disrupt your comfort so don't miss what your calling is. Refuse to settle for survival. When you were created so significant. Remember, you were made great. God is calling you to greater things. Don't let your life end with regrets when it can rise with purpose. So refuse to settle. Step into your destiny, and I want you to stay at the top. So the last point I want to explore with us is focus on what really matters most. And I'll say it again, focus on what matters most. If you want to achieve meaningful outcomes, you must first clarify what truly matters. Vision about priorities becomes wishful thinking. Every God-given dream is built in intentional steps, one at a time. And each true priority becomes a stepping stone towards the future placed in your heart. Jesus himself models this. He gave us this clarity in Luke chapter 10, verse 38, verse 42. We find the story of Mary and Martha. And Martha was busy doing all these great things, right? Preparing the home, serving the guests. But Mary, on the other hand, chose to sit at the feet of Jesus. Martha felt overwhelmed and asked Jesus to correct Mary. But Jesus replied, Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but the things that are needed are indeed only to be in my presence. She has chosen the better, referring to Mary. Mary has chosen what is right. He challenged her, says Luke chapter 10, verse 41, 42, to settle. And sometimes we get so caught up in doing. You see, Martha wasn't doing anything wrong, but she was doing too much. Mary understood what mattered most in that moment, being present with Jesus. The story reminds us that even good things can become distractions when they pull us away from what really, really is essential. So there's times we got to do some spring cleaning. Your life begins by taking inventory of what fills your time. What needs to be removed so that you can stay focused on your assignment? Not everything demands your attention. I hate to tell you, break it to you like that. There's things that you have to let go. There's things that don't deserve your devotion. When you refuse to eliminate distractions, whether they're people, activities, habits, or endless scrolling, you don't just lose time, you lose clarity. You lose peace. You lose creative strength. So here's what Paul says. He warns us about when he says, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. Some things are allowed, but they're not aligned to what God has for you. Keeping God at the center is next. I want you to be honest. Get honest about your strengths, your values, and what's at the center of your life, your convictions, and place God at the very center. Just like a solar system, everything in your life should orbit him. When God is at the center, guess what? Everything is pulled like gravity, the centers around him. So that means that, guess what? There is no position between family, my job, my career goals, all that, guess what? Doesn't surround one at a time. It all surrounds it at the very same time. Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. When God is first, everything else falls right into order. So think about it this way. Focus like a runner. Prioritizing creates focus. Paul compared the Christian life like to a race. I don't run aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 26. Like a racehorse wearing blinders, right? We must train your attention to stay fixed on the finish line. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing what truly, truly matters. There are going to be times that you got to release what is not essential. If it's not essential, release it. If it doesn't align with your calling, just let it go. You were never meant to be good at everything, only faithful to what God assigned you. Again, going back to Mary, when Mary chose Jesus over distractions, she chose the better focus over what you call overload. This is something that we have to do. You choose life when you choose God. You see, God designed for you this way to have him centered in your life, and this is where peace comes. Because greatness lives where focus and obedience meets, that's what God has for you. So if this has been a blessing, I hope you can connect. Next Sunday, I'll drop the next lesson. Remember, this is Life Coach 180, where we're changing for the good. And so I'm on Instagram. What I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and drop in the description. I'll drop the notes for you, the resources that you have. It's in lifecoach180.org. So all these resources are just to pour into you. And that's the passion that I have, right? This is the time that I'm taking because I want to build community with you. So remember, any handles like Life Coach 180, if you go to TikTok, you want to join me there. Every other day, I'm just dropping some nuggets just to pour into you. Same thing with Instagram. My Facebook is actually going to be Benny Lopez. So if you look it up, it's just going to be a little bit different. But God has amazing things planned for you. So I'm so proud of you. If you reach this far, then I am proud of you. So don't forget to subscribe, to like, hit those notifications so that you know when the next one pops off, okay? I'm so proud of you. Remember, Life Coach 180, where we're changing again for the good.